Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are divinely blessed, divinely favored today on this beautiful day. So, today's word is yakmur, and this is a kind of deer. It is either a fallow deer or a roebuck. And yakmur, once again, is a roe deer or a fallow deer. And it is depicted as a graceful, medium-sized, cervid native. And yes, native to the Eastern Mediterranean. Modern zoologists associate with the Persian fallow deer, and it was once widespread in ancient Israel. And it is categorized by a spotted coat, palmated antlers in males, and an alert, elusive nature. And of course, it eats a lot of what, deers eat. I really won't get into that. But it was biblically acknowledged as a clean land animal, cloven hooves and rumination. So it was among permissible foods. So in Deuteronomy 14 verse 5, we see 7 kinds of wild game that Israel was free to eat. And yakmur was third. So the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. And in Solomon's daily provisions, 1 Kings 4 verse 23, it states that the royal kitchens received 10 fat oxen, 20 pasture-fed oxen, 100 sheep, plus deer, gazelles, and roebucks, and fattened fowl. So, yakmur appears among the wild meats that testify to the wealth and stability of the kingdom. So, under Mosaic law, there were certain dietary restrictions. So, placing the roe deer on the clean list, the Lord affirmed that his people could enjoy the bounty of the land without compromising covenant holiness. The distinction between clean and unclean animals, Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, set Israel apart from neighboring nations and instructed the conscience in matters of obedience. So yakmur, or the roe deer, both chews the cud and has a divided hoof. It met the twofold criteria for land animals. And it prefigures the necessity of a wholehearted, undivided walk before God. And we compare this in James chapter 1, verse 8. So the roe deer is also a symbol of covenant blessing. The presence of the roe deer on Solomon's table illustrates how obedience and wisdom brings material plenty. And we see this in 1 Kings 4, verse 20 to 21. Its inclusion in royal fare communicates the peace and security of Israel at the height of the united monarchy, when even the wild game of forests could be harvested without fear of enemy invasion or economical collapse. Thus, the animal serves as a living witness to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 11, where God promises to abound in prosperity those who keep his commandments. So historically and culturally speaking, large herds of deer inhabited the Galilean highlands, the Jordan Valley, and the Carmel Range. And while Assyria also had similar animals as well, and that they used them as hunting trophies, royal gifts, and sacrificial offerings, Israel did not. They did not exploit the deers as a religious symbol, but it was used practically speaking for food, celebrations, tithes, and royal hospitality. And we can compare this in Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 15. So we can see the practical focus underscores Scripture's balanced view of creation, that nature is neither to be idolized nor abused, but stewarded under God's mandate in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28 to 31. So if we look into these spiritual reflections and ministry applications, provision. Yachmor reminds believers that the Lord equips his people with everything required for life and godliness, and we see this in 2 Peter 1, verse 3. Moderation. Even though Solomon's table was quite the feat to behold, his consumption was regulated and recorded, and it suggests the accountability amid prosperity. So no, Solomon did not fall into gluttony in this aspect. So churches and households today should model stewardship by the transparent handling of resources. Next, beauty and speed. The deer's agility evokes the believer's pursuit of God. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He makes me tread upon the heights. And we see this in Habakkuk 3, verse 19. So while the verse employs a different Hebrewic term, the image naturally extends to Yachmor, which is swift, sure-footed, and free. And of course, we know in the Bible it says, wherever God puts our foot, he will give us that land, if we are a believer. Lastly, creation care. So modern Israel works to reintroduce the Persian fallow deer after near extinction. Ministries can highlight practical ways to preserve God's handiwork while meeting human needs. And this reflects the original balance of Deuteronomy 14. So while Yachmor only appears twice, its presence enriches biblical theology by illustrating clean provision, covenant blessing, and responsible dominion. From the wilderness diet outlined by Moses to the table of Solomon, the roe deer testifies that every good gift, whether in scarcity or abundance, is from above, coming down from the Father of lights. And we see this in James chapter 1, verse 17.